Okay, fifth graders, here's a little bit of homework help. These are the problems that I assigned to you. Everybody wrote them down, I believe. I'll do a couple of these with you, and you guys should be good to be on your way. I think most of these have remainders. There's a few that do not, but let's do a couple of them. Number one, probably the easiest one, but I actually had a couple of you come up and ask me some questions after we went over this in class. So anyways, 3 goes into 579, how many times? Well, let's just do one piece at a time. 3 goes into 5, how many times? Well, it goes in once, with what left over? 3 from 5 is 2. So now what do? We bring down the 7. 3 goes into 27, how many times? Well, it goes in 9 times, and that's even. Okay, now what do? Bring down the 9. 3 goes into 9, how many times? It goes in 3 times, with nothing left over, so the remainder is 0. So 3 times 193 would equal 579. How about number 10? Let's jump down here. 6 goes into 6,827, how many times? Well, 6 goes into 6 once, nothing left over. Bring down the 8. Got to make sure I don't run out of room here. 6 goes into 8 once. What's left over? 2. Bring down the 2. 6 goes into 22. How many times? Well, 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 is too big. That's not going to work. So 18 will work. 6 goes into 18 3 times. So I'm going to put down an 18, and I'm going to erase this so I have more room to work. And I'll just move 14 down here, which was 723 divided by 7. So 18 from 22, what's left over? 4. Now what? Bring down the 7. 6 goes into 47, how many times? Well, we've been working on the times tables here. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. So it's going to be 6 times 7. 6 times 7. And what's 6 times 7? It's 42. What's left over? 5. So that's the remainder 5. So it goes in 1,137 times with a remainder of 5. So how about number 13? Let's do 13. So it's 942 divided by 6. I'll just write it right here like this. 942 divided by 6. 6 goes into 9 how many times? Well, it goes in once. What's left over? 6 from 9 is 3. Now what do? Now you bring down the next number, which is 4. 6 goes into 34 how many times? Well, we did something just similar to that a moment ago. 6 times 6 is 36. That's too big. 6 times 5 is 30, so it's going to be 5 times. And it'll be 30. 30 from 34 is 4 left over. Now what do? Bring down the 2. 6 goes into 42 how many times? Well, again, we just did a problem like that. 6 times 7 is what? 42. Nothing left over. So, yeah, forgot that. So 6 times 7 is 42. And so you can check these problems, if any of you actually ever went that far, to see if they work, especially the ones that go in evenly. If we were to multiply 6 times 157, we should get 942. This first problem here, if we were to multiply, since there's no remainder, 3 times 5 times 193, then you would get 579. So whenever there's not a remainder, if you just multiply your answer by what you were dividing by, you should get what's in the house here. if there's no remainder. If there is a remainder, then you'd have just a little bit left over, which would be the remainder. Okay. All right, so there was your homework help. And I will see you guys not tomorrow, but Wednesday.